Nothing has come easy to me. I have gone through a lot. And they give them the cap that they're wearing, okay, or the shoe, they're like, no, I'm not wearing that. Life can throw things at you, but you need to be able to be ready to just, when it knocks you down, just get up and keep moving. He called me and he was talking to me. He was like, I have feelings for you and stuff like that. And I'm like, bro, like, chill. Hello, my loves. Welcome or welcome back to my positive space. If you're new to this channel, my name is Araya, Mrs. A. How are you doing? Thank you so much for tuning in. Today's vlog is all about my Q&A, which I have announced in my previous videos on YouTube, my Instagram and Facebook. I am just going to be answering the questions that you've sent to me. First of all, I would like to thank you so much. It's a B. I've had so many questions that I'm going to try as much as I can to answer most of them. What I'm going to do is, for the ones that I'm not able to go through, I will leave them and pick them as I go while doing my vlog. So I just kind of pick one question this week and another question the next week and just kind of go through it that way. As you can see, I'm shooting from a very different location. So I'm not in my usual studio. I'm shooting from Yorkshire. I've actually come for a mini holiday break with the family because I went away. We did a bit of a couple trip to Santorini. That is the vlog from last week, which is my pre-birthday treat travel vlog. And then on my actual birthday, we came to Yorkshire to a very lovely place called Bowfell. We had a mini holiday break with my mom, with the kids and my sister and my niece. I am going to vlog about this another time because I call it the budget holiday. It's a very good one to have if you're family and you do love to have a bit of a break from home, but you're looking to save money. Let's get straight to this video. For my first question, and in no particular order, for the Q&A is from a lady called Ama Alangajwa. Ama Alangajwa has got a YouTube channel called Best Family. She's also married to Kwame G, who is also a YouTuber. He's on social media, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, everywhere. You can find him everywhere. So if you just Google Best Family on YouTube and Instagram, please follow them. They are such an amazing couple. They do the most funny skits. They are just hilarious. They really make me laugh. I do watch them a lot. So first of all, thank you, Amma, for sending this through. Your question is, where are all the places you travel to and which one is your favorite? This is a very amazing question because, as you all know, or if you didn't know, I really love to travel. It's one of my passions. So I actually plan for it because traveling is also money. So I actually plan for it. I look for the most, budget holidays that I can, or give myself a treat when I can. So thank you. Right. I had to write the answers to this question on my phone because I didn't want to forget any. Okay. So in no particular order, I've been to Paris, I've been to Brussels, I've been to Amsterdam, I've been to Düsseldorf, I've been to Cologne. I've also been to Malta a couple of occasions. I have been to Costa Brava, Costa del Sol, Barcelona in Spain. To Malaga, I've been to Marbella. Malta is one of the places that we absolutely love to travel. I have done that with a family friend of ours, that is the Brown family. Shout out to Mr. and Mrs. Brown. That was actually our first time in Malta and we absolutely loved it. I've also been to Norway. I've been to Norway on a couple of occasions. I went to Norway on a cruise. Now, I'm going to come back to which one is my favorite. I think that's definitely going to be a vlog at some point. Norway was absolutely stunning. I mean, the views were so scenic, so picturesque. Norway was just beautiful. I have also been to America. I've been to different states in America. I've been to Antalya and I've been to Istanbul. Turkey is such a beautiful place. I absolutely loved, the experience. I've also been to Santorini, very recent. So if you haven't seen my latest vlog, you can check it out. Okay. And I think that's pretty much it. And of course, in England, I've been to different parts of the UK. Pretty much the country. I've been to a lot of places. I'm not going to go into that now. If I start, we're not going to finish. So Ama Alan Gajwa, thank you so much for your question. Next question is from Mrs. Charlotte Amukwando. She's the CEO of Absam Fascinators. She does the most beautiful handmade fascinators. So if you need a fascinator for an occasion or even just to glam up your look no further, check her out on Instagram. I've had quite a few selections from her and they're amazing. Charlotte's question is, I know you sing and love to dance. What inspired you to start EOS Speaks? That's a good question. I would say what inspired me is talking. I love to chat. I love to speak. I think looking back, I have always done things to do with speaking, even like public speaking, a bit of acting and, stage work and things like that. From as young as, I don't know, maybe my memory go back to like when I was in year 3, I used to take part in a lot of plays in school. I've got that natural confidence, not to say it in a kind of overconfidence manner, but I've just got it naturally. It is something that some people work towards it and some people have it. It's in them. They were born with it. I'm one of those. Now, what inspired me with EOS Speaks is time was a factor. At a point in my life, I felt like I had more time to be able to fit something else in my life. And I also wanted to explore more of me. I also came to a point in my life where a lot of things changed. And I just kind of had a sudden realization that I could actually share this. Prior to going on to social media or starting EOS Speaks, I've always been a very private person. I have never really put myself out there. You will hardly find me on social media. So yeah, what really inspired me, it was time, number one. But then again, resources was another one. I also realized that I had the resources. And when I say resources, I mean, time is a resource, but also the talent, I had it. And also another resource that I had was production. So my husband, as you know, he does my production. One of the things that also kind of factored it was encouragement from people. My mother, at some point, we're just having a conversation and she was like, oh, somebody was doing a program on the TV and she was like, this is the sort of thing that I think you can do. She just said it in passing, but it got stuck in my head. This is why it's so important what people tell you. Sometimes people tell you things that are negative and you don't realize it, but it actually settles. It's like a seed. It actually settles in you. So she said that and it got stuck in my head. I didn't even really realize it, but when it came to the time where I was going to start my channel, these things started popping up. The other person who's always told me, always said I could do a YouTube channel was my husband. And we would joke about it and we laugh about it. He's like, you can speak for England. I think you'd be a very good YouTuber. But he always says you're wasting your talent. So that was another thing. And my sister-in-law, Nana, Bertha, Mrs. Baidu, she was like, I think you can do a YouTube channel. And I laughed about it. And I was like, please, don't even get me there. That is like not even part of the plan. Let's not talk about it. So yeah, it's like what people have said to me, it was like a seed. I didn't even know. But at some point, I felt like it was growing. And then time and opportunities and chances, it all came together. So there you are, Mrs. Amukwando. I hope I've answered your question. Right, next question is from Mrs. Nanama Akofo. Mrs. Akofo is a very lovely woman. She's a good friend of mine. We all went to school way back in secondary school together with Caroline, a very good friend. Mrs. Akofo says, what motivates you? That's the first question. And the second one is, as a wife and a mother, I know you're busy. How do you juggle life to make sure you get the time and be intentional? Thank you very much. For those of you who haven't watched my videos, if you go back and watch it, you realize that I talk about intentionality a lot, because intentionality was one of the things that actually led me to be doing this. If you have watched my first video, I'm mentioning there, and I'll say it again, if anybody ever asked me if I'll do a YouTube channel, even like a year ago, would have been no, and no. Okay, so intentionality was one of the things I kind of stumbled on, and I live my life on intentions. I do things intentionally because I realized that the more I'm intentional, the more things I achieve. And that has actually helped me to be here. I'm having to be intentional to do this. I wouldn't naturally just get up and go and do it. But I realized how much of a blessing that is. Because if I've got the talent to speak and I've got the talent to be here and to do all of this, and I'm not able to do it because I'm holding back, then I'm not doing myself or even society a favor. So I have been intentional to be here. Yeah, what motivates me? I always tell myself that we live life once. So I'm just like, if we live the life once, why don't we live it and live it well? What can I do that I can look back and be like, I did this? Some of the things that always constantly goes on in my mind anytime I'm doing these vlogs is that my children are going to grow up. And, if technology stays for as long as, they're going to look at this. And they're going to listen to some of the things that their mother said, and I know it's going to inspire them. So at the moment, all I'm doing is I'm living my life the fullest I can. I am using intentionality to enjoy life. So juggling everything else, it's hard work, but you just need to be intentional and be able to block out time and say, this is my moment. Intentionality, Mrs. Akofo, has helped me to be able to still have my me time, okay? And yeah, just take one day at a time. I hope I've answered your question. Thank you very much, Mrs. Akofo. Right, let's move on to the next question. Mrs. Doreen Nana Ama Osafwedu, aka Amabona. Doreen's question is, how do you put together all this and still work it great? She says, okay, I take that as a compliment. She goes, motherhood, wife, daughter, friend, it's a lot. Okay, so this is not much different from what Mrs. Akofo asked, so it kind of ties in. Yes, I mean, I think I'm naturally quite resilient as well. So I would just kind of pursue something until it's done. And I think that has been a big part of me that has helped me to be able to juggle motherhood, because I'm a full-time teacher. I have always worked full-time. I've got 3 kids and I've never worked part-time. I've always worked full-time. I've had my fair challenges of it, but I've always persevered through it. I think I would say resilience has been my core and my key thing. But also, most importantly, I feel very secure in myself. And I think one of the things that makes me feel that way is my faith as a Christian. I always feel protected. I feel anchored, less anxious in a lot of things that I do. And I will give things a go. I'm a go-getter. I will just give things a go. I'm not afraid to not be successful in an area, because I feel like I can try again, or I can do something else. If I have not been successful at something, I'll try again. Or maybe it's not the best thing, it's not the right thing for me, I'll leave it. So yeah, I hope I've answered your question. Definitely resilience, perseverance, and just again, knowing that I'm living my best life. So I just go for it. And I don't really care what happens. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. And we move on. Thank you. Right, next question is from Dickness Mrs. Esther Boachi Wallace, aka Manye. Manye is being somebody that I've known way back in the days. Shout out to Manye and the family. Her questions are, what inspired you to start your YouTube channel? I think I've kind of said this. And how do you manage work, vlogging, wife duties, and motherhood? So this question is obviously coming up a lot, because people do know that life is hectic as it is. What do I say? I just get on with it and enjoy every part of it. So just kind of knowing that I have all these things to juggle, and I try to make sure that I also have time for myself. I think this is very important. When I first started YouTube, I realized that if I don't take care, it was going to take a bit of my family time. So I decided that I'm going to be shooting every time my kids are sleeping. So most of the vlogs, most of my shoots, I try and do it very early in the morning when they are sleeping, or late at night when they are asleep. But prioritizing is very important, because I have to prioritize everything else I do. I have to prioritize my work, prioritize my family life, and then get the YouTube in, as and when I can, really. Thank you very much. Right, next question. This is from Princess Ivy Jose Omawinyo. She's a lovely lady that I've known way back in the days. Thank you very much, Ivy. Ivy has got a YouTube channel. If you type her name, Princess Ivy, it's going to come up with a song that says "We'll Lift You Higher." Please subscribe to her channel, like and listen to her video. Her question is, how were you able to conquer all the odds and make things possible? Conquer all the odds. I would say that I'm very focused on me. Generally in life, as somebody who is very focused on me, so I am less distracted in life. That is my general outlook. I don't really focus on other people. Not in a bad way to say that I don't care about people. No, I'm sure you kind of understand what I'm saying. I don't look at somebody's life and compare it to my life. I don't. I've said this a few times in my previous vlogs. I will say it anytime, any day, because it's true. I just focus on me. I do what I can do. And I always feel very confident in myself. I feel proud of my achievements. Whether it's be little things I do, even the things that I fail in, I still feel like, look, I did this. I put my hand up for it. I take responsibility for it. I could do better. I am a big cheerleader for myself. I motivate myself. I've never waited for anybody to cheer me up. So people don't put me down easily. If you try to put me down, it doesn't really get to me because I believe in myself and I'm cheering myself up. Doesn't mean I'm perfect, but I embrace my imperfections. So I think all those things has helped me to conquer. Couldn't think of a better answer, Princess Ivy. It's like, I just mind my business. I do my own thing. I move on. And those have given me successes in life. Yeah, I hope that's that. Obviously, I am a hard worker. I work hard. Nothing good comes easy. Even vlogging, like, see, that's simple as that. Me and my husband, sometimes we like banging heads together. We have to work hard to make it come like the way it looks to you. Okay, so that is that. Princess Ivy, your next question is, what keeps you going? How do you derive strength? How can you help someone? Okay, so what keeps you going? How do you derive strength? I think I've pretty much answered that in the first one. If I've got a goal, I need to try and work towards it. I've got that in my head. I'm working towards this. Resilience, hard work, perseverance. That definitely keeps me going. And I keep my eyes on the goal. Whatever I want to work towards, I just keep my mind on, like, this is what I'm doing. I need to get there. So I'm kind of keep the distraction away and just keep focusing. How do I derive strength? Goals motivate me to get strength. And then again, I've got that inner, motivation to myself. That is strength for me. So yeah, it all pretty much ties in. And the final one is, how can you help someone who has had the desire to do what you're doing or something similar? So all I have to say is, believe in yourself, number one. Have that self-motivation. Work hard. Nothing comes easy. Sometimes people look at people and they're like, oh, they've got a good life. A lot of people see people who've got good life and they admire them. But when they give them the cap that they're wearing, okay, or the shoe, they're like, no, I'm not wearing that. But this is why you see that they've got a good life, or this is why you see the things that you admire in them. It didn't come easy. Nothing comes easy. I have had my fair share of life. If anybody sees me and admire me, thank God, it's all good and amazing, but nothing has come easy to me. I have gone through a lot. So yes, definitely persevere through life, because it is what it is. Life can throw things at you, but you need to be able to be ready to just, when it knocks you down, just get up and keep moving. And just to add, you also need to study people, and you also need to learn more and need to improve yourself. So that is that. And I've got from my friend Caroline. Caroline is a very good friend of mine. I've known him back in the days. We've known each other for well over 24 years. Anybody who knows me and knows me well knows Caroline. So our friendship kind of grew over the years. I also admire her because she's very resilient and she's a very deep thinker, which is one of the reasons why she became my friend in the first place. Initially, she asked me a lot of silly questions, which I said, none of that is making it to the vlog, so get over it. And she was like, well, I think everybody else is going to ask the most invalid ones, so I'm going to ask the ones that are not valid. I don't know what she meant by that. But some of them, I give her the answer behind the stage, and I'm like, it's not getting there, so keep that answer and move on to the next question. So she finally came with this. She says, looking at you from a distance, you always seem happy and well put together. But you have also shared a few challenging experiences with us. How do you maintain your poise? Caroline, yes, you're absolutely right. You are absolutely right. I have been through some really pretty hard times. Sometimes I look back and I don't even know how I've been able to get through it. But I would say that naturally I've got quite a strong personality in terms of my emotions. Yes, I can break down and I can cry, and I have cried so many times when I need to. I also think that anytime I am at my rock bottom, wherever I am, I have in my head that I need to rise up. I've never come to a point where I feel like when I'm low, I need to stay there. So I think that has always been a very good, cushion for me. So yes, when I've had those tough times, I feel like that time is coming. Hang in there, be strong, keep going. It will get there. Another thing that obviously keeps me going is the fact that I've got kids. Young children. As you know, as parents, and even especially as mothers, we don't have the luxury to not be there for our kids. You just don't, unless you don't care. So anytime I'm low, I feel like I need to just bump myself up. Whatever it takes. You don't want your children to see that you are low and you're struggling, or you have a lot going on, because that will affect them. So you need to get yourself together all the time. So yeah, if it's a case of slamming that makeup on and wiping your face and looking good and being okay, then do that. Also, when I'm really, really like struggling, having challenges, I talk to God. I speak to God, and when I've spoken to God, when I prayed, I just do my best to leave it to Him. But I also talk to myself a lot. I talk to that girl inside of me, and I keep encouraging myself, and I go like, it's gonna be okay, you'll be fine, it's just gonna be just right, be patient, hang in there. So like I said, I motivate myself a lot. But again, I've also got a very strong, supportive family, my biological family and my marital home. I can talk to my husband when I've got issues, and I can talk to my mother, I can talk to my siblings. I've got a very supportive family like that. And, in general, I am quite content with what I have, where I am. It doesn't mean that I'm complacent. I'm not complacent, because I've got a plan where I'm going, and it's big, but I'm very content where I am right now. So every single day, I'm happy, And I think that's why people see that in me. I never worry too much. There are people who have a lot more than I do, but they still worry about things around them. They're still distracted about what they don't have. Before I got to this point in my life, I have always felt content. I hardly complain unnecessarily or nag about things that I don't have. It's a personality trait that I have. So I think that obviously keeps me looking very bubbly. I like to look at things from a lighter perspective. I like to look at life like, it is what it is. Do your best. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. If it works, it works. Move on. Don't give yourself a headache. No wahala. You know what I mean? Like, it's like that. Yeah. Next question is from Caroline's sister, Nanesi. Nanesi says, what's your favorite song? I had to rack up my brain for this one. Girl, you got me thinking. I racked up my brain for this one because I have a lot of songs that I love. But I settled on one. And the reason why I settled on this is because I have sung it many times. It's a song from Sinach, Waymaker. Waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in darkness, my God, that is who you are. I absolutely love that song. It's very deep. It's got strong lyrics that can lift somebody from a place. So I would say that has been it. And I sang that song so many times in my ministry. And anytime I sing it, I just lose myself. So that is that. And the final question is from Caroline's dad. Thank you so much, Papa P. I call him Papa P, but his name is Uncle Ebo, Mr. Agri. God bless you for the amazing work that you've done. And your question is, it says, right, let's find it. Oh, Papa P's question has disappeared. Okay. Right, let's get it here. Something about how I met my husband. Papa P wants to know how you met Junior. So I met my husband, Junior, in 2006. So I went to Doreen's house, met the lovely family. I went with her to, it was an occasion. It was her father's anniversary. Father had passed away. Bless his soul, may his soul rest in peace. And that's where I met my husband. But after we met, we had been friends. My husband and I were friends for 8 good years. And then we dated for 1 year, or within 1 year, and then we got married. So that is the story. But one thing that I remember, on a few occasions on my graduation, which I did not invite him, by the way, he suddenly appeared there. I don't know how. He heard we're graduating and he came. Okay. So apparently I found out that after we kind of met, he had a very soft spot for me. He told me years later that the first day he met me, he felt like he had known me for years. He felt like he'd known me somewhere. That's what he told me. Okay, there's a car coming. So we have to pause. We have to pause for a second. Otherwise, you're not going to hear me. Okay, so when the car goes, and they're smiling and looking at me. Right, so we met then. Doreen introduced us. He was at my graduation, which is something I'll never forget. At the time, I was dating somebody else. I mean, we were just friends. He just turned up and he always talks about it, and he laughs about it because he tells me, you didn't even give me attention. I'm like, what attention did you want? Like, we were friends. I was like, hi, Junior, thanks for coming, and things like that. And then I was like, bye, see you later. And I was off. But he was there at the time. At some point, he kind of contacted me and he was trying to talk to me about, being interested in me and stuff like that. But I was going out with somebody else and I was like, I'm not interested. So things kind of got a bit out of house and I was like, please don't call me. Like, I'm trying to deal with my own issues. Don't call me. Like, I gave him stern warning. So we had not spoken for a good, maybe 3 years. He rang me this day and we just kind of spoke and catch up on like, how have you been? Things like that. And friendship kind of got back to normal. And then one thing led to the other. And within the year, we got married. So yes, that was it. I mean, he makes a joke about it, like to date. It's like, when we first met, if you had agreed for me, okay, let me do it in his voice. When we first met, if you had agreed for us to get married, our daughter will be this big. Really? There's time for everything. But yeah, Papa P, there you are. So this is how I met Junior in Doreen's house. So I can never talk about meeting Junior without mentioning my friend Doreen. Doreen and I have known each other for so long. We don't talk all the time, but anytime we talk, it's like proper catch up. So yeah, I guess this is the end of the Q&A video. What else can I say? Thanks to everyone. Hopefully you enjoyed it and you get to know a bit more about me. But you feel free to go back to my very first video because I kind of said a few things about that. I do hope you totally enjoyed this Q&A. Thank you so much. If you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please do, because I've got quite a lot of good content out there coming. I've got interview lines up. I've got some good practical videos. I've got a few travel adventures that I would like to share with you. And yeah, I think the lesson for today is be resilient, work hard, focus on your life, don't focus on anybody else. Be your own supporter. Don't let the pressures of society get you down. You live life once and that's it. So live it to your best. Don't hide and just be you. I love you. Take care. Adios. Au revoir. Kiss, kiss, kiss. Mwah, 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 mwah.